There was a time when I was living on less than $1,800 per month. I was working 2 jobs, one full-time from 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. in the office, one part-time evening delivery Uber Eats. I had no extra. I was just surviving. But there's one thing that scares me more than being poor. I have no plan. I get paid. I pay rent, utilities, student loans, car payments. Then I look at my $84 balance and wonder, how do people get rich? When will I ever be any different if I work this hard? I don't need a fancy car. I don't dream of $1 million house. I just want one thing, a clear path to take. And then I heard someone say, you don't need to earn more, you need to keep more. I thought that was bullshit, but a month later, when I was 2 days late on my rent and the landlord knocked on my door at 6 a.m., I started to take it more seriously. I didn't have any spare cash. But I did have something, the desire not to live like this for another 10 years. $100,000 in 5 years, not to brag, but because I did the math. If I invest early and consistently, with an average return of 8 to 10%/year, I only need $1,200 to $1,400 per month to be enough. I can't even spare $300 a month. I built an investment system for low-income people. Doesn't require me to play stocks, doesn't require me to sit and watch the charts, and doesn't depend on luck. I needed a way to invest like a rich person, even though I was poor. I saw that my account balance was exactly $22. I wanted to stop, but I didn't stop. 6 months later, I had over $1,000 invested. 1 year later, I had over $3,000, not much. But it was the first asset I ever had. I no longer feel stuck. I no longer feel, what am I doing working all my life for? I have a lever, a path, a specific plan, step by step. You don't need a high-paying job to invest, you just need a formula that works for low-income earners. Cut the right expenses that don't make you happy, invest consistently in safe, growing things, automate everything so you don't get tempted. I know what it feels like to be stuck. I know what it feels like to have a debit card declined at the grocery store. I know how endless it feels to pay $43 per month on $4,800 in student loans, and if you're in that stage, I'm not saying it's easy. But I'm saying it's possible. You can start with $5 per day, you can work your way up to $100,000, even if your salary is only $2,000 per month. When I first decided to invest, I did what many young people do. I went on YouTube, watched a few top 5 stocks to buy now videos, and poured my meager savings into 3 stocks I knew nothing about. The result? A stock that dropped 40% in 2 months, a meme stock that crashed when Reddit gave up, a tech company caught in an internal investigation, total loss, nearly $420, or nearly 30% of my money. I don't know why I lost, I just saw. I'm not the financial type. I thought, let's go back to work, save, and hope for a raise. But then, one depressing evening, I looked at my investment accounts and realized, the only one that wasn't negative, and even had a slight gain, was an ETF called VTI. I had never paid attention to it. I just bought it because the video said it's safe. So I started researching, what is an ETF? Why doesn't it go down like other stocks? And why do people like Warren Buffett always talk about index funds? An ETF is a basket of stocks. It doesn't depend on how a single company lives or dies. And when I choose an ETF like VTI, I'm indirectly buying the entire US economy. It dawned on me, I wasn't wrong about investing. I was just wrong about thinking investing is picking winning horses. I stopped looking for hot stocks. I built myself an investment system that I could do even with a low income. 1. Automatically deduct 10 to 15% of my income every month. 2. Buy ETFs regularly every 2 weeks regardless of whether the market is up or down. 3. No withdrawals, no panic, no daily checks. I picked VTI for long-term growth, add SCHD for stable dividends, and then I tried adding VIO, SP500 ETF, for diversification, nothing complicated, no need to be a genius, just be consistent and don't break the rules. After 6 months, my account grew steadily despite the market being pretty bleak. I started receiving my first dividends, which were just a few dollars, but it felt like I was being rewarded for doing the right thing. I felt calmer, less anxious, and slowly I started to enjoy the stability. Investing is not about how smart you are. It's about how long you can stick with it. Financially intelligent people are not the ones who pick the right stocks, they are the ones who choose a strategy that is safe enough to not fall apart. Of course there are. I tried crypto and lost 17% in 2 days. I bought an ETF following a TikTok trend and found the management fees were too high. I listened to a financial YouTuber and got caught up in margin. Luckily I stopped early, but every mistake taught me a lesson stronger than school. Know what you're buying, know what you're investing for. No FOMO, no listening to others' calls, no betting, just building a foundation. Because I don't need to get rich quick, I need to be rich for sure. Exactly what I'm investing every month, how I choose my ETF allocations, and the formula to build $100,000 in just 5 years even if your income is under $2,500 per month. I wasn't born rich, I just choose to live differently one day at a time, and if you're starting out, here's the map I'll give you. After 1 year of trying everything, from playing stocks, surfing, to crypto, I realized I don't need to be smarter than others. I just need a strategy that won't bankrupt me. And this is the formula I applied for the next 4 years, precisely, consistently, without change. Here's the logic I use. I need $100,000 in 5 years. I calculate with an average return of 8% per year, equivalent to investing in large index funds like VTI or VO, with compound interest. I need to invest about $1,300 to $1,400/month. Sounds big, right? Don't worry, I can't start with that either. But here's how I break it down to make it work from a low income. 60% living expenses, rent, food, gas, bills. I force myself to live more simply, because I know I can't invest if I live too well off. 20% automatic investing, take out immediately after receiving paycheck, automatically buy ETFs on 2 days, 3rd and 17th of each month. 20% emergency fund debt, set aside to pay off student loans, and build up a 3 to 6 month emergency fund. I don't pick fractional stocks. I pick large, low-cost ETFs with proven growth over 10 to 20 years. I set up Fidelity Investment Account. You can also use Vanguard or Charles Schwab, automatic withdrawal of $700 on the 3rd and $700 on the 17th of each month. The system will automatically buy ETFs at the rate I set. I don't have to decide. I just follow this system. What helped me reach $100,000 wasn't a high-paying job, a miracle investment, a get-rich-quick trick, but I didn't stop. I didn't care if the market was red or green. I wasn't tempted by the latest coin or token trend. I kept my strategy simple and let time do the rest. The mindset when your portfolio hits $100,000, advice if you're starting with $0, and why the first $100,000 is the hardest, but also the most worthwhile. If you've made it this far, you're one step closer to financial freedom, not with money, but with your mindset. I remember it was a normal Monday morning. I opened my investment app like I always do and saw the number, $100,174.26. I sat motionless in front of the screen, no cheering, no jumping, just a moment of silence, then a smile because I knew I had done something I thought was impossible. Let me tell you, I'm not special. I wasn't born rich. I didn't study finance. I didn't have anyone to show me the way. I'm just a guy who used to live on $2,100 per month in a rickety studio apartment with an understocked refrigerator and a head full of worries, and I still do this. Financial freedom is, you don't have to worry if your car breaks down, you don't have to ask your boss for a pay raise if your child is sick, you don't have to borrow money from friends if you need a plane ticket home. Financial freedom is when you have the power to choose not because you're rich, but because you're independent. They think, investing is for people with money. I will invest after I have surplus. I don't understand finance. I'm afraid of losing. But that is the trap that keeps them from escaping the paycheck to paycheck cycle. If you wait until you have surplus to invest, you will never start, because spending will always catch up with your income. Only when you make investing your number one priority will you see your money start working for you. 1. You don't need a lot of money to start. I started with $100 per month, less than $4 per day. Nobody calls that big money, but after 5 years it pays off big, too. ETFs are the most powerful tool for busy, low-income people. You don't have to pick a stock, you just pick an economy and let time win for you. 3. Dividends don't make you rich, but they give you confidence, the feeling of getting your first $2 dividend. Not much money, but it was the first time I had money coming to me without doing anything, and I realized that if I kept this strategy, my life would change. Don't try to catch the trend, don't chase the holy stock pick, don't believe the get rich quick in 1 month talk, believe in yourself and the version of yourself you can become if you are disciplined for 60 consecutive months. I didn't quit my job, I didn't move into a penthouse, I didn't show anyone my account, I just felt I was in control, and that gave me a peace that no one could take away. If you want to follow my strategy, start today. Specific steps: 1. Open an account with Fidelity, Vanguard, or Charles Schwab. 2. Create a Roth IRA or brokerage account depending on your situation. 3. Start contributing $100 to $200 per month regardless of income. 4. Choose a simple ETF, VTI, though, SCHD reinvest dividends. 5. Set up an automatic withdrawal schedule and forget about checking every day. 6. Commit to doing it for 60 months. No breaks. If you want to follow my strategy, start today. Specific steps: 1. Open an account with Fidelity, Vanguard, or Charles Schwab. 2. Create a Roth IRA or brokerage account depending on your situation. 3. Start contributing $100 to $200 per month regardless of income. 4. Choose a simple ETF, VTI, though, SCHD reinvest dividends. 5. Set up an automatic withdrawal schedule and forget about checking every day. 6. Commit to doing it for 60 months. No breaks. The question is, after 5 years, will you have a $100,000 account, or are you still starting from zero? I don't dare say you will be rich, but I dare say, if you are persistent, you will no longer be poor in the old sense of dependent, fearful, exhausted by money. Don't let your life be determined by a salary, let it be shaped by you, each small, regular, disciplined investment. Because freedom is not having everything, freedom is not being forced to do things you don't want to do just because you don't have enough money. And you can start that freedom with $5 a day, if you like this video. Don't forget to like to let YouTube know it's worth spreading. Subscribe because I will continue to share real, clear, and no bait financial strategy.